so sweet, crisp, and pure, makes leaves shimmer, playfully dancing, gentle breezes, tunefully whispering, secrets about sweet nothings. At times it can show its violent temper, howl and roar, announcing tempestuous weather.
Charu Chachi, where is Polly? Oh, he's swinging away on that mango tree branch, enjoying the breezing weather.
Yes, the weather is perfect today. The air too seems crisp and pure. Polly is on top of the world today, swinging on that bow and singing in his squawky language.
I can even get a sweet fragrance being carried to my nostrils by the air.
That is the fragrance of the newly bloomed Kunti flowers. You know, Tara, we here on planet Earth are so lucky to be having this oxygen-rich atmosphere which can support all life. Imagine being on planet Venus, which has an atmosphere of dense clouds of sulfuric acid, or on Jupiter with its dense clouds of hydrogen and helium.
We would never be able to survive there. Don't you agree, Polly?
Did you know we can survive without food for about 3 weeks? We can survive without water for a maximum of 3 days. But without air, we cannot survive for more than 3 minutes.
Really? Air is so important for all of us living on this planet?
Unfortunately, our atmosphere too is getting heavily contaminated by both natural causes as well as by man.
Are you referring to all of us breathing out of carbon dioxide? But isn't carbon dioxide being absorbed once again by the plants during photosynthesis when they make their food?
You struck a sore point, my dear Tara. Plants do use up carbon dioxide to make their own food and give out oxygen as a byproduct. That is why we say trees are carbon sinks. But the point is, man is daily cutting down trees for his various needs. So how does the oxygen in our air get replenished?
That is so true. We should, in fact, plant more trees. Why do people keep cutting trees, Charu Chachi?
Trees are of such immense use to us. Unfortunately, their boon has become their bane. People cut trees because they provide valuable timber for building, for making paper, to use as firewood. Large swaths of forest land are cut down to make room for man's construction activities. Construction of buildings, roads, highways, bridges, or to be replaced by fields of crops.
But people should not be so greedy. We need to work towards maintaining an atmosphere of pure oxygen for the sake of all living species on this planet.
Pure oxygen in our atmosphere would be just as dangerous, Tara. It would burn off all the trees and even our lungs. Fortunately, we have this relatively inactive gas, nitrogen, which occupies 78% of our atmosphere and dilutes the effect of oxygen.
So, is the major chunk of our atmosphere nitrogen and the rest oxygen and carbon dioxide?
For a long time, the amount of oxygen in our atmosphere has been a steady 21%. The amount of carbon dioxide has been 0.03% and the rest, other inert gases like argon. But now, the level of carbon dioxide is rising at an alarming rate.
But Charu Chachi, are there other reasons also for the rise of carbon dioxide level?
Oh yes, the main culprit is burning of fossil fuels. Fossil fuels like coal, petrol and diesel are burnt to a great degree for making vehicles run, in factories for manufacturing goods and also as a fuel in thermal power plants. All of this produces carbon dioxide, along with dust particles and smoke.
And that messes up our pure, clean atmosphere.
I must tell you this. Every year in winter, in the state of Haryana, after the crops are harvested, the leftover stubble is burnt so that the fields may be ready for sowing the next lot of seeds. But this burning leads to huge amounts of smog.
Hi La, what is this smog? Does it have anything to do with smoke or with fog?
In fact, it is a combination of smoke and fog. This smog makes life in our capital city of Delhi very difficult. It gets into people's lungs, affecting their health. It makes visibility extremely poor, so there is danger of accidents on the road.
Charu Chachi, I can understand the harm caused to the health of human beings by dust and smoke. But what about carbon dioxide? Why is a huge amount of carbon dioxide harmful?
मास्टर जी ने ग्रीन हाउस गैसेस के बारे में बताया है. कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड, मीथेन, nitrous oxide and ozone are together called greenhouse gases.
Isn't a greenhouse where plants are kept warm when it is cold outside?
बिल्कुल ठीक. How are the plants kept warm?
Isn't a greenhouse made of glass?
वही. The glass allows the sun's short wavelength rays to pass through. But once the rays enter the glass house, they get converted into long wavelength rays, which are prevented by the glass to reflect back.
मैं समझ गई. On a much larger scale, the greenhouse gases do the same thing, blanketing the earth and trapping the sun's rays underneath them, preventing them from being reflected back. Now I know. This leads to global warming.
Smart girl, shabash.
हाँ, even Polly is as excited as you, Charu Chachi.
Of late, the huge amounts of carbon dioxide we humans are producing through our activities is also a cause of great concern for marine life.
कैसे?
Much of the carbon dioxide is dissolving in our oceans, leading to acidification. The acidic water cannot be tolerated by the marine creatures. Acidification, sadly, is leading to our corals getting bleached a ghostly white.
But Charu Chachi, the poor people do need wood to build their homes, to cook their food and keep warm in winter. What would they do without wood?
Sahi baat. But nature has provided us enough only for our needs, not for our greed. People should use only as much as they need. That is called using the resources sustainably.
Sustainably. Sustainable living is the buzzword. Did you hear that, Polly? But unfortunately, most people do not realize this. They want more of everything, na?
Bilkul sahi. In the big cities, many families have more than one car. Many people have more than one phone. People want more and more of everything. So, since there is a greater demand, more and more goods are manufactured and more fossil fuel is burnt to produce these.
Which means our air gets polluted more and more. Charu Chachi, you had mentioned earlier that the methane too is one of the greenhouse gases. Where does methane come from?
Ah, good question. Methane is given off from decomposing garbage, and large amounts of methane is given off from the poop of cattle. Our human activities have produced other pollutants too, which have harmed the environment.
Like which pollutants, Charu Chachi?
Like, for instance, contaminants such as sulfur dioxide and hydrogen sulfide, which are spewed out by refineries. Owing to these gases, the first rain of the season is termed as acid rain. The gases dissolve in the rainwater, forming sulfurous acid.
Does that mean that the first rainwater near refineries should not be harvested?
Not for drinking or cooking. In fact, These gases have caused marble cancer to the pride of India and one of the world's wonders, the Taj Mahal.
Hayla, even marble can get cancer?
The Taj Mahal, which Shah Jahan had built in memory of his wife Mumtaz Mahal, was pure white. But owing to acid rain formed by the gases given out by the nearby Mathura refineries, it has turned yellow over time. This yellowing is called marble cancer.
Did you hear that, Polly?
Another very deadly pollutant is carbon monoxide, which may form instead of carbon dioxide due to incomplete combustion of fossil fuels.
Why is the carbon monoxide so deadly, Charu Chachi?
Carbon monoxide is known as the silent killer since it has no smell, no color, and its presence cannot be detected.
Hayla, how does it kill us?
This gas combines with the hemoglobin of our blood to form a compound called carboxyhemoglobin, which prevents oxygen from reaching the tissues and cells of our body. And you know, without oxygen, we cannot survive at all.
Now I know why Master Ji always insists that our classroom windows should be open for air to circulate.
Also, if the AC in a room or a car is not working, it is most important that the windows should be kept open.
Charu Chachi, you have told me all about man-made air pollution. What about natural pollution of air?
Let us go back 65 million years ago. What great event affected the planet way back then? Can you tell me?
I know. That was when dinosaurs went extinct.
Exactly. Among the many theories put forth about their extinction, one of them is natural air pollution. Many scientists strongly believe that a huge meteorite collided into the earth, kicking off humongous clouds of ash, gas, and dust, which floated around for many months, blocking off the sunlight.
So, without the sunlight, then the plants die. And without plants, many of the herbivorous dinosaurs must have also gotten extinct.
Bilkul sahi. Now, can you think of at least 2 other ways the air gets polluted from time to time by natural causes?
Forest fires?
Right you are. Forest fires occur naturally, especially in deciduous forests where trees shed their leaves. The dry leaves act as ready fuel, and the smallest spark can trigger a fire. Forest fires may also be caused by lightning.
But forest fires could also be caused by man, na?
Either deliberately when people want a plot of land to be cleared so that they can use it for other purposes, or sometimes it may be sheer carelessness, like leaving the glowing embers of a campfire or a cigarette butt unextinguished.
What about volcanoes, Charu Chachi? I saw on television the volcanic eruption of the Spanish island of La Palma. It lasted for 91 days.
Yes, Tara, this volcano erupted for quite a long time. 7,000 people had to be evacuated from that area. It must have spewed out a lot of ash and volcanic gases. But, like all other natural disasters, this volcanic eruption was not so long-lived and does not cause so much damage to our atmosphere as man-made activities do.
What will they do with all the ash that flowed out?
They can use it to grow plants or perhaps to build new homes.
So, are forest fires and volcanic eruptions the only forms of natural air pollutions?
You will be surprised to learn that even plants can cause air pollution.
Plants can cause air pollution? Even Polly seems to be surprised by your statement, Charu Chachi.
Yes, many plants disperse their pollen through air, especially in the cooler months of October, November, and December. The pollen can cause irritation to the eyes and affect those who are prone to asthma.
Is there any cure for it?
Yes, there are anti-allergen drugs which can relieve those affected by it. Again, this form of pollution is only temporary.
Is there some way of measuring pollution, Charu Chachi?
Yes, the air quality index is what measures the purity of air on a scale of 0 to 500. It keeps a day-to-day track of contaminants such as sulfurous gases, carbon monoxide, ozone, and aerosols which release chlorofluorocarbons.
What are chlorofluorocarbons?
They were at one time used prolifically in aerosols such as deodorants. But soon it was realized that the CFCs were producing a hole in the ozone layer of our atmosphere.
Hi la!
Ozone occurs naturally in our atmosphere and prevents the harmful ultraviolet rays from the sun from reaching the earth.
So the ozone hole allowed the harmful UV rays to reach the earth?
Bilkul sahi. UV rays in large doses can cause cancer. Now, there is a ban on the usage of CFCs throughout the world.
Look, what is Polly up to? He's using his beak to scrape off those blue-green patches on that tree.
Oh, those blue-green patches are actually lichen, a close association of algae and fungi. They are indicators of pure air. They will not grow where air is polluted.
That's really interesting. I've learned so much from you about the importance of this invisible substance, air, which is present all around us, Charu Chachi.
So, now that you have heard me out about air pollution, why don't you note down some measures that people can take to maintain pure, clean air?
I have an idea. I shall create some posters to spread awareness and convince people to take measures to conserve our air. Will you help me, Polly?
And so, Tara makes several posters and puts them up around her school and other public places. Please keep the rooms of your house, especially the kitchen, well ventilated. This will prevent any carbon monoxide from being formed. Please switch over to cleaner forms of energy like solar energy to generate electricity in your house and other public places. Please avoid burning any garbage. It can produce toxic fumes that can affect people's health. Please grow plants around your homes. They ensure the air is pure and clean and produce oxygen for you to breathe. Please avoid using vehicles when you can walk or bicycle. Carpooling or using of public transport would be a good option to reduce the amount of fossil fuels being burnt.
Let life be a breath of fresh air. Cycling, walking, good exercise. Why burn fuel with car rides? Cleaner air, sweet pure air. Let life be a breath of fresh air. Grow plenty of trees, our saviors they be, producing clean, sweet, pure air. Let life be a breath of fresh air. Life is a breath of fresh air.